What is up, everybody? Hopefully, you all are well. Um, I want to hop on here today and actually do, suppose, a bit of a review uh, on Nell. Nell uh, is an MC. If you haven't heard of her, definitely recommend you looking her up. Or her full name's Lanell Grant, however she goes by Nell. Um, so, yeah, I mean, where to start? So, Lanell Grant, or Nell, um, is dope. She is an MC uh, based out of Texas. She's been predominantly known as a producer, um, and she really ended up stepping into a an MC role uh, about 2 years ago, give or take, and she's been at it since. And I mean, just in terms of overall flow and content of her actual rhymes, uh, art, it's just, in my opinion, it's above and beyond anything, you know, from today that folks might really interact with, and it's really a it's something that you listen and it's just, you can tell that she has an understanding of the project that she wants to put out, um, and she knows how to put it together, right? So I think this arises from her, background more so as a producer, um, and she just has a solid understanding of how to interweave her flow into the actual music itself. Um, and it's something where you know, she doesn't really make any sort of perhaps like perverse or like any sort of references really like that. Uh, it's, in my opinion, how hip hop, how rap uh, should be presented, and I think at its roots really has going for it, right? And she is really, I'd say, even above in some sense, uh, quote unquote, the male rappers of today. And she, again, I think it's just really delivery, I think it's delivery, I think it's the artistry, I think it's the knowing how to coordinate the the whole thing, the whole project, and really being able to present that and having it be a holistic experience, right? And it's something I figured I would point out and share with you all just because it's something where I think folks are looking or wanting to hear something fresh, right? They're wanting to hear something that is, I think new, something that uh, is well produced, is well put together, and is really just a quality production, right? And I think that is what Nell puts out. I think she takes the time to elevate her skill set. I think she takes her time to elevate the artistry behind her projects. Um, and it's all, without, I think, a demeaning or a lowering of standards, right? And she chooses to continually have her art be at at least a consistent level, right? If not elevated. So it's definitely one of those things where I recommend just listening to her content if you haven't. Um, in my personal opinion, I haven't heard anyone else that has put out content that is as well done as her content in particular. And I, I'm not sure when or if that will happen within this year uh, for the culture as a whole. To be frank, to be to be honest, um, and yeah, I mean, it's just really interesting. I think that a lot of folks maybe listen to, you know, uh, I'm not even sure I can think of. I mean, we'll say like listen to some, we'll just say popular rappers, right? Like maybe it's, I'm not even sure, like Lil Yachty or someone like that. Um, and that's not to say that they don't have songs that are entertaining. I think it's more so, in some sense that the songs I think Nell puts together and that she puts out and produces, that they have more gravity, right, to them, or they have more, um, they're fuller, right? They're more fleshed out. They have, I think, more of a weight to them and a more of like a holistic uh, element to them that you just don't really find in everyday uh, popular rappers, right? So I definitely think that it's worth, again, I think worth a shot listening to some of the content. Uh, I believe her debut album is I Ain't Gonna Hold You, uh, which popped out back in, it was like 2021, something like that. And I think it's 8 songs, and it's pretty good. It's yeah, I mean, it's I could go. This isn't really a review for her album. Um, it's more of a just kind of, I guess, an artist review type of situation where I just think it's worthwhile to listen to her content, right? To listen to um, anything that she's put out. She even has some Instagram lives or some Instagram reels that are pretty much freestyles, right? And I think those, even by themselves, even if they're less polished than maybe an album, I'd say even those would probably top, um, again, some of the projects that popular rappers, you know, put out. Um, yeah, and I think it's one of those things where anytime, and I think she's probably the best example I can think of in terms of like recent quote rising artists unquote, that she is probably the most recent um, example that I can think of that, you know, it's one thing when someone can flow well, right, on a beat and rhyme, rap, have rhyme schemes, etc., things like that. Um, it's another thing, I think, when folks can do it and can do it without, like profanity, without um, any sort of like just extraneous things, right? And can just do it because I think sometimes folks see the profanity almost as like filler words in some sense versus like actual rhymes, right? Actual like content and depth and things like that. And I definitely think that she's one of those one of the artists that really does this well, and I think it really speaks for itself in regard to the overall content, right, and the overall uh, again, just the overall depth, the overall refinement, the overall quality um, of the art that she puts out. So I definitely think, again, um, it's just worthwhile. It's just worthwhile to listen to. It's worthwhile, to check out the content she puts out. If, maybe hip hop's not really your thing. So maybe you could check out like her, uh, just her videos. She has other videos up where I think she has like some kind, like some skits and things like that. She posts things with her family. Um, so I think even those are just worth checking out just because the, you know, if you don't listen to the music, her personality, carries over between the two. I think it's definitely present in her sort of day to day life um, in terms of the other things she puts out, and she doesn't, put out like as much in regard to skits or, sort of one off silly things as much as she does her actual music. So I definitely would say it's more worthwhile, um, or it's worthwhile either way, rather, to just interact with their content. And then I think you'll see more of why I recommend listening to her music. However, if you are for hip hop, you're about hip hop, you're about, quality music, um, I definitely recommend just checking out her music, which again is I Ain't Gonna Hold You, and it's at least on Spotify, and I believe also on YouTube. So just want to make this quick video, and I hope y'all have a good one. All right, peace.